Oh yeah. You know what time it is. Don't mind the dark spot on the hood. I might have accidentally slipped getting on the tractor and spilled a little fuel. Details. Already got this field back here worked. Didn't get any video of it because I got started kind of early this morning and forgot to take the camera home with me last night so I'd have it. And when I got over here, I didn't want to wake Mom and Dad up grabbing the camera, so I just came back here and worked this and got the camera before I headed to the next field. It is a little tacky, but it's nothing that I am worried about at all. It actually, it's, granted right here is a little lighter. You get down in here, there's a vein of clay that starts right about at that point in the yard and goes all the way back up over that hill. That worked up a little, it was a little stickier, but it's still probably, because this field got ripped. This is the first field I ran the ripper over since I got the four-wheel drive to pull it. And I gotta say, this is probably the best this little section's ever worked down. You can tell it gets chunky right here. And this is all gray blue clay, really piss poor drain. And it worked up kind of chunky, but it's all falling apart. And this was really the worst spot, was right through here. And I had one spot back there on that corner that had, I must have sunk a little bit spreading fertilizer, and there was some water standing in the ruts, but I pulled the rut shut, didn't ball up the harrow or nothing, walked right through it. So, and as soon as I started running over this, it started drying immediately. So let this sit for 4 or 5 hours, come back here 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon, and I dare say it's good. It's good to plant. Well, it's gonna be good to plant because I'm gonna come back this afternoon and start planting it anyway. But compared to last year, these are ideal conditions. I was actually making dust with the damn finisher. Didn't see that at all last year. So, like I said, that field's gonna be good to go. I'm gonna go hit one more, possibly 2 more. I might hit a small one on the way back from the big one I'm going to. So, anyway, I guess I'm gonna get on the road and we will see you when we get to the next field. Alrighty. Had to stop and talk to my landlord for a minute. He was out. I ain't seen him since I came over and signed the contract a couple months ago, so. Hopefully this ground works alright. It's a little tackier than that first field I did, but I want to let this one sit overnight and I'm going to plant it tomorrow. I need to get all this damn chickweed turned under. Or at least uprooted so it'll fucking die. Alright. I already got these short rows worked out here. to be moving the camera around a lot today because I just want to get some stuff done. She does not like climbing this hill with his finger. She'll do it, but she lets you know when she protests. I'm really curious to see what this field does with corn on it this year. Because before I got it, it had been no-till for a couple of years. And before that, I don't know, but for all intents and purposes, when I got it, it was a damn parking lot. And I came out here and chiseled it the first year with my 19. That was before I had this. I used my 19 in that Glencoe soil saver. And God, that was hard. I couldn't go all that deep because I couldn't really pull it like I wanted to, which is why I ended up with this. But last year was the first year it was dry enough in the fall to run over with a ripper since I got the damn ripper. So like I say, hopefully it does it some good. It certainly didn't hurt it any. It's still a little tacky, but I gotta get this shit opened up with all the green with all this green on top. It ain't gonna dry out all that quick. But the minute you open it up, you'd be surprised how quick that moisture disappears. Which is why I like running this finisher over a disc. This is a lot more forgiving when it comes to ground being a little on the wetter side. It doesn't compact it like a disc would. I know I'm going to get the inevitable idiot that says, well, you should have sprayed burn down on it. Well, I don't spray burn down for two reasons. Firstly, I am a believer that excessive use of herbicide is someday going to come back and bite us in the ass. I have no problem using herbicide. I spray a regular herbicide program for my post-emergence. I got no problem using it, but I think excessive use is a problem, which is also the reason that I refuse to go no-till, because a lot of the problem with our Roundup resistant weeds, we'll focus on that. A lot of that came from piss poor use of herbicide. Well, it all came from piss poor use of herbicide. And who uses herbicide the most? That's the no-till guys. Not saying they're all bad. The guys that have always applied full rate and always got a good kill, they're fine, but you always get the cheap ass that thinks that they can go like half rate, and there's where the problem lies. But anyway, the other reason is, if you tried pulling my sprayer over this ground, either you would rip the wheels right off of it, or the booms would fall off from bouncing so much. So, I don't spray burn down. And it's never been an issue. That's part of the reason that your tillage pass in the spring is kill weeds. glad when all this fucking corona bullshit's over because I really want a haircut. This is annoying the shit out of me. It's the longest my hair has ever been in my entire life. Our damn she-Nazi in Lansing won't get her head out of her ass. I get it. Detroit's a hot spot. You don't gotta treat the rest of the damn state like Detroit. But I digress. Obviously, I never had this finisher before when I was still making videos. Got this right after I graduated from college. No, the year after I graduated. Because I bought this the fall that I graduated, I think. Did I get this in the spring or in the fall? Pretty sure I got this in the fall. I gotta go back and look. But we got this, and then the next year, Dad actually found this thing. One of our friends came over to have to make a hose, and I don't know how the hell it came up in conversation, but the guy said that this thing was sitting out in the pasture north of town. So, seems like I was working harvest or something during, no, it wasn't been harvest during the spring. I don't know why I wasn't around. Maybe I was working third shift. But either way, Dad went out and talked to the guy, and he didn't have a tractor big enough to pull it, so he just parked it. And he hadn't actually used it all that much. So we got it cheap. I think $2,300, $2,500, something like that for a 24-foot Glencoe finisher. That's not bad at all. I do need to get blades and shovels put on it, but every time I think I got the money, something else more important comes up, but it's got to happen before next year. And then I bought the basket last fall, or no, fall before last. Best $1,700 I ever spent. Had to do a bunch of work to it, but it wasn't extra. It wasn't bad. I had to replace a bunch of bearings, fix some of the baskets. Typical wear shit on a 20-year-old bat or 20-year-old rolling arrow. And actually, it's a crumbler. It's got the fucking round bars. It doesn't got the arrow baskets, but. Combination would probably be a lot happier behind a 4.175 or a 4.210. But I'm still pulling it. I can pull it in third over if you can stay in the damn seat. Third direct, it gets pretty happy, which almost 5 miles an hour, so I guess it's not all that slow. I mean, you go from a 14-foot field, 3-foot field cultivator to a 24-foot finisher with a basket, you feel like you're walking in tall fucking cotton. Guess I can turn you around here so you can actually. Yeah, I might be able to just do this. Oh yeah, we can just do that. It's still a little don't even have to grit tile it, just put some laterals in on probably 30-foot centers. Because I can tile the whole thing to this wood here. Well, at least this upper part, that lower part I started out down in, that one, there really is no good place to tile that. That's pretty much the lowest spot. But up here, you can tile this on 30-foot centers and it intercepts the spring, and it'd be some pretty nice ground in that. But anyway, I think I'm going to shut the camera off here and open the windows back up. It's getting kind of stuffy in here, but I closed the windows so that you can hear me talk. Probably only got another 45 minutes here. Got one little chunk that I moldboarded that I want to try to get on the way home. So by that time, probably go home, grab a bite to eat real quick. Check that field I hit this morning, and if it's starting to dry out, go ahead and get planted. Dad was going to go over to the barn and get the planter and the fertilizer wagon hooked up for me. Well, this field is my case for the moldboard plow. Well, first off, I did this because I had just put if you remember back to the video where I was walking around showing you my farm, and I had that little 2-bottom hydraulic lift 4240 sitting in my barn. I had just got that put together for my 66 and I wanted to try it, so I came out here to mess with it. And the reason I did this field was because I've been having a lot of issues with grass like this shit. Mostly foxtail. Oh, that's not even grass, that's grass. But mostly right here, from here to the woods and about halfway across, I had foxtail bad. And I'd kill it and the field would be clean and it'd come right back before harvest. So I wanted to moldboard it and see if that helped, and clearly it did something, because normally if I let this field go this long before I worked it in the spring, it would just be a green mat, and now there ain't shit except for where my dead furrow was. And don't make fun of my dead furrow, because there's not a straight goddamn edge in this field to go off of, and I was actually coming into this dead furrow at an angle. So, and then I went in and actually back plowed it a little bit, which is why there's still some green on top. If I'd never back plowed it, it probably would have stayed clean. But I think I can get across it. It don't feel too bad. The only spot they're gonna have right there in that little swale is generally where it gives me an issue, but I think we're gonna be all right. So I might try to find a spot to set the camera where you can just see me on the outside. Tell you what, you sink that thing into some all-boarded ground, you really know what's back there. That feels about like dragging a boat anchor through granite. But God, does that make a nice seed bed. Holy shit. And granted, this isn't really the hardest ground in the world, but even back here on that clay knob, it looks like yes. Holy cow. That's gonna dry out real nice by tomorrow. So, anyway, this is the last little bit I'm gonna do today and put the tractor back in the barn. And I saw the tire tracks in the grass, so Dad's been over and got the planter. So, get this done, go home, get some lunch, and start planting corn. You ever just wish you'd never opened your damn mouth? It's always the paths along the woods that'll get you, every time. Luckily, I was at the field where my truck was. I went home and grabbed the damn chain. And now back to your regularly scheduled program. Oh, that is just beautiful. We didn't see ground at all like that last year. It was all mud. Also, last year, it was the 5th of June before we even started planting. There was a couple guys that got lucky and had dry ground before that point, but they were few and far between. This damn fertilizer wagon is a lifesaver. I do not miss shoveling one bit. Not one bit. Okay. All right. Get loaded up here. into my last bag. It's actually not my last bag. I got 5 more as hybrid. I only brought 4 with me. This anymore because most seeds, when they're treated, they put on a seed lubricant right at the plant. I know we use some stuff called 007. I don't actually know the chemical name of it, but I do know it's the same stuff they put on donuts to make them shiny. Fun fact for the day. This style of hydraulic unit doesn't have detents on the valve, so you can't lock them in. So Dad came up with this idea. It's a handle or a lever lock, and it's permanently on the tractor. Well, it's not permanent, it's bolted on, but it stays on the tractor. But the way it's made, you got to pull up on it to lock it. So as long as it's down in that slot, you can still run the lever like normal hydraulics, and you can lock it up when you need to use it to run. Well, I got all my andros on. Started here. Well, I don't have all my andros on. I got one more I gotta finish up. I'll do that on the way back to the fertilizer wagon. Started here in the back and started working my way toward the front, because the back is where the straight end is. The front is crooked. And it's got a dog leg in it. train I'll hook back up. There's 7 acres in the ground. Like, what is today? Today's the 3rd, isn't it? Yep, the 3rd. So, a month and 2 days sooner than we did last year. I'm pretty sure last year I started planting on the 5th of June. Pretty sure. And, I mean, it was a little tacky this morning, but that made a really nice seed bed. I mean, really damn nice. Even up here, where it's kind of chunky, which you probably saw the planter bouncing around a little bit going through it. But even up here, a little bit of a walk. When you get into this chunky shit, I mean, the planter pulverized it and it sealed up pretty nice. I mean, right in here, this spot holds water, so I would expect that. But you start getting away from that, the planter pulverized it and it covered nice. So, and that's what I'm talking about on them press wheel for your seed depth. You can plant anywhere between 2 knuckles and on top of the ground. That's just the nature of the beast on those things. You really can't do nothing about it. So, anyhow, did just have some. I mean, literally, it was just as I was getting this shit cleaned up and hooked back up, and I mean, literally just now, that kind of threw the entire game plan for a loop. My cousin just came and wants me to farm 45 acres that he just bought. And the stipulation is, he wants me to have beans in it this year. He said I can have corn. He said I can start the rotation, put corn on it next year, but he wants beans in there this year. So, that just threw the entire plan all the fuck. That's going to put me super, 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 super heavy on beans, which I don't like. So, I think what I'm going to do is switch the muck over to corn, and I'll get 4 more bags of that 82-day corn and put that down there on the muck and get more of those 2-2 beans and put that on that 45 acres. And that's not going to keep me even, but it'll keep me from having, I mean, hell, it'd give me almost, see, I had 30 and 20, 50. That'd give me 90 goddamn acres of beans. So if I switch that over, or switch the muck over to corn, switch that, or put beans on that 45 acres like he wants me to, that'll get me, I'm still gonna be heavy on the beans, but that'll get me closer to even and not have my rotation really corn heavy next year. So I'm happy to have the ground, but that really just kind of threw the whole plan for a goddamn loop. I've been wanting to farm that ground for a while though, because basically it's my uncle's farm, his dad, and he bought the farm, and basically now he wants me to farm it. Is basically the short story. So, and I've been wanting to ask my uncle for like last 3 years if he let me farm it, but he's just kind of hard to talk to about that sort of stuff, so I just never did it. And here it is, just kind of falling in my lap. So, yeah, that just made things interesting. So, on that note, I guess I'm going to go check some more fields, see where we're at moisture-wise, and go from there. But I guess, as far as video goes, that's it for this one. We'll catch y'all on the next one. And depending on how much more I do tonight, you might actually see this one tonight, you might not. We'll find out. So, anyway, catch y'all on the next one.